Doris Childress, welcome to Weekday. Today we'll talk about infertility, a star's regimen for healthy living, and later in the show we'll sharpen your skills in the kitchen when we dive into a real Valentine's treat, dessert. But first, a look at a problem that affects 6 to 10 million couples in America. Infertility can be devastating to couples, not only emotionally, but also financially. Patricia Gross introduces us to a doctor who is treating her infertility patients with acupuncture.
No, continue taking what you're taking now until you come in. Well, if your new cycle starts, don't take anything, as usual, until you have finished your cycle.
Dr. Randine Lewis treats infertility with acupuncture and herbs.
Oh, okay. Now, have you gone to that agency that you were going to talk to this morning?
She also treats her patients with a great deal of compassion.
Well, thanks for calling.
Something she gained while experiencing infertility problems herself. Right after she received her Western medical degree, she wanted to start a family.
I was not successful, and I suffered from secondary infertility. And we were searching for options, and my husband's also a medical doctor, and knowing the risks of doing the high-tech hormonal stimulation and in vitro procedures, we didn't want to risk multiple births or go through any of that.
She then heard acupuncture and herbs could help with infertility problems.
After going for acupuncture and taking herbs for 3 months, I conceived. And I noticed a whole lot of other side benefits as well. I had a lot of hormonal problems, and I had been losing my hair, and all of my joints were hurting, and those went away, and I just started feeling better.
She was still skeptical and began a journey of discovery. She got a master's in acupuncture and herbs in Houston and eventually studied in China. For the last few years, she's owned the only Eastern practice in town totally devoted to infertility.
The biggest difference I see between the way Western medicine approaches infertility and the way Eastern medicine approaches infertility is the individual variations. In Western medicine, you end up spending a lot of money up front to find out what's wrong. Then the first step for most women who aren't ovulating is Clomid, which helps them ovulate or hyperstimulates the ovaries, I guess, so they produce more eggs than they otherwise would. In Chinese medicine, you find out everything about the individual's life, sleeping patterns, eating patterns, menstrual patterns, personal relationships, dream patterns. Everything is important. And you try to work out what the hormonal imbalance is, what is not happening when it should, what needs to be targeted, how does this woman need to be balanced so that she will be able to conceive. I would quit taking that and we'll focus a little more on uterus, just building the uterine blood.
Lynn Farmer has had 3 miscarriages and spent thousands of dollars to get pregnant before coming to Dr. Lewis.
Well, I've been told that I have high FSH, which means I have premature ovarian failure, which means my ovaries aren't working as well, and they think that because of that my eggs aren't good, and that's why I keep losing them.
I know, I've always wanted that name, but I don't know, we'll have to see.
Dr. Lewis has treated about 100 patients. Most have to come at least 6 months to a year, but many notice the difference right away.
That maternal glow.
Sherry Rebenes could not get pregnant for 6 months because she was not ovulating, a common infertility problem.
It was just amazing when I started seeing Randine, the difference that I noticed because I was taking my temperature charts, and the difference was amazing from when we started till when I stopped seeing her. I started ovulating, and I'm absolutely certain that it was from that.
Okay, you all set?
Besides the infertility, most patients get treated for whatever ails them at the time. Jody Eisenhart, who also had problems with ovulation, came in today with a sinus infection.
Well, I noticed an immediate change as far as how I felt physically and emotionally. These treatments helped me to relax greatly in a way that I did not expect. I also saw physical changes in my cycle, dramatic changes in the length of my cycle, and certain characteristics within my cycle that were, almost immediate.
Kate Lepre has already conceived a child, but since Cameron was born, she's had 2 miscarriages.
As you can imagine, it's wrenching and it's horrid, and it's, you wonder if I ever get pregnant again, is it going to happen again? So the entire time that you're pregnant the next time, you're waiting for it to happen again.
Today, she credits this treatment for her new pregnancy.
Randine pinpointed it as being more of an immune response. My body was basically kicking the baby out, and then treated me from that perspective, which ceased the contractions. I stopped having those contractions every day, which was very worrisome, and it's been a relatively uneventful pregnancy. I feel much more supported. I think that a large part of it for me has been seeing a practitioner who actually listens to me, who actually is interested and concerned about me as an individual and doesn't just treat me according to a set of principles.
In every case, it's different. If I start out with somebody who's 43 and has been through 10 IVF procedures, I have to take a totally different approach than somebody who comes to me who's 27 and says, I'm not ovulating. And the 27-year-old who's not ovulating, chances are, after we work together for approximately 6 months, she will ovulate. The woman in her 40s who has already had her ovaries taxed by the procedures that she's gone through, it is less likely. But it is not impossible. I have had women conceive in their 40s after they have failed everything else. That is not the norm. That is not how I like to do it. I wish I could help women before they have damaged themselves. Do your nose getting clearer?
There have been a limited number of clinical trials on the role of acupuncture in infertility. These women support anecdotal evidence. They insist it works for them.
So just take it as I'm nauseous?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And if you don't feel sick anymore, don't take them anymore.
Okay.
They won't have any untoward effects with the pregnancy.
If you would like more information on alternative infertility treatment, you can contact Eastern Harmony at 713-529-1610.
Texas.